Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is another much anticipated video. It is going to actually be a Q&A video, and this is something that one of my latest students asked me about, but basically asking me if I could do a Q&A video about the most frequently asked questions that all of the students joining our company usually ask us. So what it's going to be is the top 5 questions that I always get asked from students from all walks around the world. For our training academy, the MSc Training Academy, we train students now in 28 countries around the world. We actually just recently added in the Maldives to one of the countries that we are now training in with our online platform. But basically what this is the top 5 questions that all of these students from around the world usually land up asking us when they want to try and join the investment world, the trading world. Maybe it's a specific question about Forex. Maybe it's even a question about what I do during my day when they start out as a beginner student. With the YouTube channel, a lot of people can see what I do and how I do it. And that has prompted a lot of much more advanced questions, but questions that people ask all the time. So it's not really something as simple as, can I make money trading Forex? It can also be things like, how do you do these things that you keep showing us? And that's also really nice because these are things that can actually not only help you with if you are looking to get started, it can also help you if you are already going and you want to improve further. And this can be something that you can just add into your day. So first, I just quickly wanted to say thank you to all the people who have actually applied to the promotional program that we put in place in August. I said to everyone in one of the previous videos that I was going to be giving away 60 seats at an 80% discount. What that basically means is that 60 spots in the MSc Academy, the online academy, where people learn about trading, investing, and wealth management, will now be only for $150 per student and not for $850. The main reason, we just closed off the first 12 months for our investment group, the Alpha Capital Fund, and it was an absolutely incredible year of trading. We are up just northward of 18% on our returns, and we are just growing as we go every single week. So we decided to give something away, and that is coming from the Educational Academy. So just make sure that if any of you still want to apply to that, just email study@msequitiestrading.com and you just contact my team and they will send you all the details about how to apply. Only $150 and it's 12 months worth of academy training. That's quite a big deal. But anyway, back to the questions and what we are doing this video about. First question starts off by a student that asked me this question a couple of years ago, saying, where do you get your ideas from, or where do you come up with your ideas? So both saying, do you get them from someone or some group, or do you come up with all your trade ideas yourself? Very important question. Basically, without any trade ideas, you can't make money as a trader. So trade ideas is really the lifeblood of what we use in order to produce alpha every single month. Now, it can be very difficult from time to time to look for trade ideas that suit your trading strategy. All of us, as traders, I'll speak for myself as a professional, we all trade on different trading styles. We have different reasoning behind how we see the market and how we agree with the market or even disagree with the market. And sometimes, in a way, all of us can be right with our strategies, just sometimes they won't work all the time. So number one is being able to create these strategies is first seeing where the market lies. Like if the market is not in that position where it's going to be producing the results for you, you shouldn't be trading. So that's number one. I always focus on making sure that I am not in the market looking for ideas if there's nothing there. It's kind of like a fisherman who fishes during high noon. It's too hot. Fish are not going to be in the water. They're not going to be biting. You have to wait for the opportunities in morning and night. So the same thing applies to trading. You kind of have to be opportunistic. Second point is creating the ideas. All just comes down to pattern recognition. Finding things in the market that repeat themselves and provide a level of success. So if you can constantly spot something that is happening over and over and over again, you can capitalize on it. And that just basically comes down to screening the markets. So screening in the markets means you just get in front of your platform like the one I've got behind me, and you just look through chart after chart after chart. And when you find something that suits you, then you want to start researching. So then you want to have a look at the fundamentals, the technicals, exactly where everything else lies. But another one is that I do sometimes get trade ideas from other people. Sometimes I get trade ideas from my own students. Sometimes I get them from my team members, as well as sometimes I even get them from the internet where people are just posting their information out for free. On my Twitter page, I post out most of my research free of charge for people to be able to read and learn more about. as well as on the YouTube channel. There are tons of educational videos where I've shown you live trade analysis videos. So you must go and watch those, and then that can show you a bit more about how I create them. But the last one is going to be using something like Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha is an incredible website, also a really good app that you can download straight onto your phone. It gives you constant flow of trade ideas and news. I can actually show you right on my iPad. It's actually, the battery is flat because I've been using the app so much. But this is basically what I spend my entire day doing. I'm just spending my entire day looking at the market and coming up with trade ideas. But using a software like Seeking Alpha is so nice because you can spend your entire day working on it. And that is basically showing you a simple overview of what the portfolios look like. So you can have a look through your different portfolios. You can also have a look at what the top news on those portfolios are. So as an example, one of them is talking about Tesla. I do follow Tesla a lot because of the video that I uploaded last. So any of you who want to watch that, the video's up here. It was all about Elon Musk's latest mishaps and problems and what happened with Tesla with his tweet. There's other things like gold. Everyone knows I'm currently in a big position on gold. There's a whole lot of other things, but then you can also go over to the analysis page, which is also incredible. It shows you all of the different types of analysis you can get, as well as all of those trade ideas, that you can get from that specific industry. So as an example, you can come up with the editor's picks, the dividends and income ideas, the long ideas, short ideas, macro views, tech, energy, ETFs, and portfolio strategy. You can find tons of trade ideas there. And the best part about this, you can download it onto your phone, spend your entire day reading trade analysis done by financial professionals and analysts. You don't even have to understand it. You can just read. And by just reading, you're going to learn a bit more. You're going to learn some catchphrases, some terms. You're going to be able to learn macro views of the market. And that can literally be learned just by reading. You don't even have to go and study it. You don't even have to go and actually get a degree so you can understand these big trade ideas. You can literally just read them. And they're so self-explanatory that you'll actually learn what they're talking about while they're talking about it. So it's a really incredible app. Every single beginner should have it. Every single professional trader should have it, or even something like Bloomberg, which is a bit more advanced, but it's a paid service. So yes, I know that question ran on a bit long, but that app is awesome. It's a really, really nice app. And that actually is, in a way, one of my small secret weapons, how I make use of just researching all the time. And that comes down to the next question. Question number 2, talking about how do I keep up with studying and researching all the time? And it really just comes down to what are you doing during your day? So we're awake for roughly about 16 to 17 hours every single day. And then we sleep for about 7 or 8 hours every single day. That's the average human. So during those 16 hours, how much time do you have to firstly find out what forms of media you can absorb? So how do we learn? We learn by absorbing forms of study media. We learn from audio, we learn from visual, we learn from reading, we learn from listening to others. So we can learn from podcasts as well, and we can also learn from interactive conversations and practical environments. So basically, during those 16 hours, you have to say to yourself, what can I do during the day that I can learn from, or either conduct research while I'm busy doing other things? And the reason why I say that is because you will not believe the amount of research you can get done by multitasking and doing simple things throughout the day. So as an example, when I go running, when I go to the gym, as an example, when I'm on the treadmill, I might be warming up, I'm reading the news. When I am getting up in the morning, I'm reading the news. Before I go to bed, I read the news. Before I do anything important throughout my day, even if I'm getting ready to go to a meeting, I'm probably reading an article before I walk into the meeting just to make sure there's nothing in the market. And that constantly is keeping a subconscious movement in my head about me wanting to learn more about the market. So firstly, it's that subconscious aspect. Then it's the active aspect. I spend most of my day at a trading platform and I'm reading about the market. So I'm not only subconsciously involved, I'm consciously involved. There's 2 different parameters of your brain you kind of have to understand before you can start gaining vast amounts of knowledge. Your subconscious, what you do throughout the day, and what you do in the activity. Now, the problem is people sometimes even struggle to be in the activity when they're doing it. They can sit down with the trading platforms and the books, and they might not even absorb anything. They might not even think. But when you can do it subconsciously and consciously, then you can develop and you can grow so much faster. That is a simple way to just absorb tons of information into your day, which can make you a better trader, which will make you more money. It's really that simple. The more you study, the better you do. The better you do, the more you make. I mean, if someone told me that when I was 5 years old, all I do is study. And that's basically what I focus on doing right now, because the better I do, the more I make. And that's the same thing I do for my students. Next question is going to be something that a lot of students ask, a huge amount of people. And it was kind of framed into the exact phrase that this student sent it through to us. We actually didn't land up working with him because we just felt he was looking for something that was, more of a get-rich-quick scheme. But he said to me, how can you make money trading in the Forex market with only $250 in your account? And this is quite interesting because all over the market, there are tons and tons of adverts from brokerages saying, just deposit $100 and you can be trading today, or deposit $200 and you'll get a $200 bonus, or deposit $1,000 and you'll get a 100% bonus. Now, there's tons of advertising all over the market saying you can start with just $50, you can start with $100, you can start with $250. But what I really don't understand, and I think this is probably something that professional traders really should do a lot more work on, in terms of publicizing what the market should actually see. People think you can actually do the whole get rich quick, take $250, turn into $1,000, turn into $5,000, turn into $100,000, and just keep on making money. That is literally, over the long term, impossible. There's no asset manager, investment manager on the planet that would be able to say that you could do that in a short period of time, or even a medium period of time. I'm even talking 10 years. You wouldn't even be able to do that with a small amount of money. So going back to the question of, can you start with $250 as a trader? To be honest, I don't think so. I really don't think you can. And the biggest reason why is to do with leverage. Now, leverage is what the broker allows you to use in every single position. Now, recently, because regulation has been tightening so much around the European brokerage zone and the financial services area around the world, more or less, it's been a lot more difficult for these liquidity providers and these brokers to hand out large amounts of leverage to these clients. So it's basically what it does is allows them to trade on credit. So you deposit $100,000, they'll give you access to up to $1 million in credit, or $100,000 in credit. So it's quite incredible how now you've got people trading on massive amounts of leverage. And if something goes wrong, they lose all their money. Their money is gone. So the entire industry now is going from this thing where $250 on a leverage account could possibly work. You could possibly make a good amount of money. Now the leverage is coming down. The second one is the markets are becoming more volatile to trade. It's becoming a lot more difficult to trade. It's no longer the days of buy and hold. There's a lot more volatility in the market, a lot more movement in the market. And as news becomes more readily available, the market gets hit with higher levels of volatility. Something can go wrong. 2 seconds later, the entire world knows about it. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, news traveled a lot slower, and you won't believe, still back then, news traveled slower than it does now. So you've got a market where the regulation is pressing down, the development of quantitative research, of quant funds, of advanced news sources, of the race to zero, of trying to constantly beat everyone in every single trade in the market. It's making an untradeable environment. So when I say to people, can you do that? No, absolutely not. You can practice on it, but the chances of making a good amount of money is about zero. So what I necessarily recommend to students is firstly, start off with a demo account. You take your 6 months, your 9 months of practicing on a demo account. Next one is you should start off with at least $1,000 deposit. You trade at least 10 cents a pip, so 0.01 lot sizes, and you focus on slowly but surely building that track record. And then slowly but surely, as you develop and grow as a trader, you can show 12-month successful trading track record, maybe 24 months, and you can grow your account a little bit by little bit. You can add in $50 a month, $100 a month, and sooner or later that account will be a few $1,000s and you'll be going well. Now, that's where you can take a different step. You can become more advanced. But the problem is, if you start out with a $250 account, you have about a 99% chance that you will lose that money. And that's what I'm trying to say to you is the more money you have access to trading on a low leverage, the more chance you have of surviving. You might not succeed, but you might not lose all that money, because if you're trading with a large trading account and only leveraging a small amount, you're going to be risking less, which means the chances of you losing all of it is very small. Whereas if you start out with a small account, your leverage is going to far exceed what you could possibly lose, and you could lose that all immediately. You might even owe the broker money if you lose too much. And that's the difference between trading with a $250 account and a $1,000 account, or even an account with more money than that. I usually say to my students, if you really want to make serious money in the market, you need to be excess of at least $25,000, pushing upwards of $50,000 to $100,000 if you want to make a serious return every single year. That is serious money. But believe me, I've seen people get there in under 3 years. So it's not like it's going to take forever, but it is going to take time. Okay, and the last question, just to end this off, because I don't want to do 5, I'm going to do the 5th question in a different video, because this video has run on a little bit long. But last question is talking about how do you switch between a demo and a live account. Now, this is definitely almost in line with the $250 question, where I have a huge amount of students asking me. And the problem is that majority of brokers, and this is not really bashing the broker, but it kind of is, but majority of brokers where they land up calling you, and I'm sure there's tons of people on this video watching saying, I have been called by those people. You get brokerage managers that'll call you up, they'll talk to you, and they'll try and see when you're going to deposit into your trading accounts. And sometimes this is not a problem, it's part of their services, but these people will constantly try and convince you to get your live trading account open, because on a demo account, they make zero. They are incentivized to get you onto a live trading account. So if you ask them the question, should I use a demo account? They might recommend it. They might even give you some advice on how to use it, but they are constantly going to be pushing you to try and get into using a live account. So you're going to constantly have someone behind you that's telling you, you should go live, you should go live, you should go live. Now with educators, some of them do this as well because they have contracts in place with these brokers. So they push the students onto the brokers, they get them trading as fast as possible on live accounts so that they can also make money. Now with us, what we had to do is we had to say, listen to, to our students and say to them, you need to wait 6 months, you need to wait 9 months and get going slowly and slowly progress as a trader on a demo account, and then you can go to the live account. When you start off on the live account early, you will lose money. And it's almost guaranteed. I've worked with so many students over the years and from around the world. So what I usually say to the students is you get going trading on a demo account for 6 to 9 months, you focus on building up your track record, getting better at that. Then you move on to the live account, you deposit, let's say $1,000 or $2,000. You start trading with a small amounts of leverage and you grow from there slowly, like I just answered in the previous question. The problem is that students are constantly kind of reverberating between these different opinions, between all different people in the industry are saying, someone says start early, someone says start with a live account, someone says this, someone says that. You have to realize what is their motivation behind that. Are they actually making money to tell you that that's what you should do? Because I can tell you right now, someone said to me, what's the best investment you can make? And I was a real estate investor. I'd say invest in real estate. It's because it's what I sell. So what you have to realize is if you are speaking to someone who sells a service, they're going to convince you that that's the service you should be using. And the paid service, not the free service. Demo accounts are free services that they offer. Live accounts are paid services. So you kind of have to notice the difference between what is a demo account and what is a live account. And that's specifically why for us, we focused on the only service we're going to be selling is education. We don't have contracts in place with the brokers we recommend that give us a rebate. All of the rebate goes back to the students. We focus on making sure that we are not incentivized to give you any advice. All we want to do is give you that education and take you up to that next level. And if you get to that level where you seriously excel, not only can we have access to working with you or bringing you onto the team, we can also take you elsewhere in the financial industry and give you to someone else in the industry who really needs a financial professional. We're directly incentivized, whereas a lot of the other companies are not. And that's where you're kind of seeing the difference between what a lot of what we say and a lot of what a huge amount of other service providers and educators say. There's a ton of educators out there that are incredibly good, but the problem is they're charging so much money. They're charging Rolls-Royce pricing. So the majority of the market cannot access that point. So they are constantly left at the bottom with, unfortunately, people giving advice who are probably not giving the best advice. So that's really where the demo account comes down to. It's a complex question, but it's the easiest way to answer it. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I know it was a little bit more complex than you probably expected, but that is the parameter of these questions. They are difficult questions to get through and understand, and that's why I focus so much on researching and making sure I had the right answers for you before I did this video. Once again, like I said, to anyone who wants to try and sign up for the Academy program, it is still 80% off, so it's $150 to train with us for 12 months. You get access to our online coaching academy, our coaching program, as well as all of the training content we have available to you. Make sure to sign up if you want to learn, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers for now, everyone.